Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tip. Julian here for another episode of the Waiver Wire videos. This is the Waiver Wire video for week 16. Obviously, guys, I'm not in my normal studio today. I am in a hotel room in Toronto. I'm here for work. It won't be too long. I might also record the Drops episode here, but after that, I'll be back in my normal studio. So no, I'm not on another trip like I was last year. Now, before we jump into it, guys, please leave a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're getting dangerously close to 7,000 subscribers, so it would mean the world to me if those of you that still haven't subscribed yet, click that button and help me achieve that amazing milestone. I would mean so much to me. For those of you that are subscribed, check out the link in the description below to my Patreon. If you take your support to the next level with my Patreon, you get some pretty awesome perks like being able to DM with me one-on-one for just $3 Canadian per month. Pretty cool. Let's jump into the content now, guys, and let's take a look at the Week 16 schedule. And on Monday, January 22nd, there are 6 games, Tuesday 9, Wednesday 7, Thursday 9, Friday 4, Saturday 14, and Sunday just 2 games. So while the off nights are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday as usual, the busy nights aren't all that busy except for Saturday night, right? Like Tuesday and Thursday, you might still have room. Go ahead and check your lineup if you do have room on Tuesday and Thursday. If you do, it might be worth not specifically going for off-night players. But obviously, if your lineup is full on Tuesday and Thursday, and Saturday is probably full, then going for guys who play on the off nights is obviously still going to be a great strategy this week. The team with the best schedule in terms of off nights is the Los Angeles Kings, who play on all 4 off nights, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, and they have the best schedule. And there's 3 other teams that play 3 off nights, and those teams are Florida, Seattle, and St. Louis. Now, Florida has a great schedule, but Seattle and St. Louis have slightly even better schedules because they play on the very unbusy night of Sunday night. Now, there's a couple teams that don't really have the best schedule. Those teams are Colorado and Toronto. Colorado only plays Wednesday and Friday. However, both those nights are actually off nights, so it's not as bad as it seems, even though they only do play 2 games. And Toronto plays Wednesday and Saturday, where Wednesday is also an off night. Let's jump into some forward options now for Week 16. And the first guy I have on this list is Ryan O'Reilly, who's been absolutely fantastic on that top line with Philip Forsberg and Gustav Nyquist. I definitely like Ryan O'Reilly. If you have room for a natural center, he's definitely someone you can consider adding. Owen Tippett has been fantastic. Really great floor with those shots and even some hits. And he's putting up lots of goals and lots of points. Trevor Moore is someone you can look to add for the off nights this week. He's been kind of fantastic all year, and he's playing second line minutes right now with Kevin Fiala and Philip Danault. Definitely not a bad deployment. Then Jonathan Drouin is playing top line and top power play with McKinnon and Rantanen, and he's been very hot over the past couple of weeks. And even though the Avs only play a couple of games this week, at least they're both on off nights, so I don't think it's a terrible ad. Although, if you can add someone who might get you a little bit more games, it might be worth adding him over Drouin this week. Rickard Rakell has been fantastic as well, playing top line and top power play in Pittsburgh, and has looked way better than he did earlier in the season. He's definitely a very good ad. Yegor Sharangovich, or as I like to call him, the Sharang Goat, he has been fantastic. He's playing top line and top power play in Calgary, and he seems to be scoring goals left and right. It's nice to have him on your team right now. Quinton Byfield's another guy playing top line and top power play with Kopitar and Kempe. He's got a phenomenal deployment, and he's definitely primed to get some points for those off nights that he has this week. Joel Farabee is playing second line and top power play in Philadelphia. It's pretty solid deployment, and he has been scoring a lot of points lately, which has brought his roster percentage up quite a bit. But as long as this dude is hot, guys, he's definitely someone that you can own on your fantasy team because he's putting up plenty of points. Arturi Lehkonen, someone who's still injured but should be coming back very soon. Now, I'm a lot more optimistic about his upside now that Nichushkin is out. It really hurts to Nichushkin owners like myself that he's out, but Lehkonen definitely gains a lot of value from this because when Lehkonen comes back, he's definitely going to be top power play once again. And Lehkonen does quite a bit of damage on that top power play. Michael Backlund, also someone who's been very, very hot lately. He's playing on the second line with white-hot Blake Coleman as well as Andrew Mangiapane, who hasn't been too bad himself. And he's also getting second PP time. Backlund's a super dependable guy, and when he's hot, he's definitely someone I don't mind having on my team. Braden Shen decided to finally get hot at the right time. He was so ice cold. He'd gone like 10, 15 games without even a point, which is absolutely insane. But finally, I believe he's at 4 games straight with at least 1 point, which is really good. Playing second line with Jordan Kyrou and Kevin Hayes. And he's also getting second power play time, which is not quite as good as first power play time, but he's hot right now. So the Blues, they have a pretty good off-night schedule, so if you do want to stream Braden Shen, I definitely think it's a decent stream. Sam Bennett playing on a line with Matthew Tkachuk and Carter Verhaeghe, and with Matthew Tkachuk being the hottest player in the NHL right now, finally, Sam Bennett has gained quite a bit of value. Obviously, he's getting between 2 absolute studs, and he's pretty good himself. He's finally showing those people that held on to him all year why they held on to him. He's looking really, really good, and if you have room for him in your lineup, he's a pretty good ad. Philip Dano is also a pretty good ad, skating between Fiala and Trevor Moore on that second line for LA, and LA has all 4 off nights this week. Definitely a good ad this week. Adam Lowry is playing on the first line right now in Winnipeg, skating next to Kyle Connor. Yeah, it's a pretty good deployment right now for Adam Lowry, and as long as he is up there, he's definitely got some value, though Scheifele might be returning soon, so his value might be short-lived. But as of right now, Lowry definitely has value, and he's been pretty hot. TJ Oshie has been scoring lots of goals lately. He's playing on the top line with Strome and Pacioretty, as well as the top power play in Washington. And as long as this dude stays hot, he's definitely addable in most leagues. He's actually available in 86% of leagues right now. Yanni Gourde's an excellent ad for the off nights. Seattle does play 3 off nights this week, and he's skating on the hottest and best line in Seattle with Tolvanen and Bjorkstrand. I love those 2 guys, and I've liked them all year round, and Gourde is the guy centering that line. Pontus Holmberg's an interesting one, playing on the top line with Austin Matthews. Previously, he had been really, really hot on the bottom 6 of the Leafs, and now they're actually trying him out with Matthews and Marner on that top line, and with that kind of deployment, it's hard to ignore him. Obviously, the Leafs do switch up their lines pretty often, so far he's doing well, but if he starts to cool down, he'll probably be taken off. But for now, in super deep leagues, he's definitely a pretty solid ad. Really, Greg is also playing in Josh Norris's spot on the top line between Brady Tkachuk and Claude Giroux. It's honestly a really good deployment, and he has been producing. Obviously, Josh Norris is not expected to be out long term, but even when Josh Norris comes back, Greg might keep some upside if he does somehow manage to stick in the top 6. That remains to be seen though, but for now, at least until Norris comes back, Greg's got some value. Teddy Bluger of the Vancouver Canucks is their second line center right now because they did decide to put their 3 best players in the top line, making Bluger, Joshua, and Connor Garland their second line. And honestly, Bluger has been fantastic and is only owned in 2% of leagues. I've had him here, I think, for 3 weeks consecutively now, guys. And if you're in a deep league, definitely consider adding him because he has been really good. And finally, Alex Laferriere has actually been pretty hot lately and right on time because the Kings have a great schedule this week for the off nights. And if you're in a super deep league, guys, he makes for an excellent ad. You'll definitely manage to get 4 games out of him, and he's potentially going to get some points for you playing next to Pierre-Luc Dubois, who seems to somewhat be waking up right now. In terms of defensemen, Justin Falk has been a little bit disappointing this year. His peripherals are not as good as they were in the past, and he's not getting as many points as he was. That's because the Blues aren't scoring as many goals as they did in the past. But Falk, I think, is still a pretty solid overall option. His peripherals aren't that bad, and you can still expect a point every few games or so. I do expect him to be bouncing back soon. I like Falk a lot. Thomas Chabot at 63% roster is the top power play guy in Ottawa, and even though he's been a little bit colder as of late, a top power play guy on a power play that generally should be pretty good is pretty valuable. Seth Jones is playing top power play in Chicago, but does that really matter? There's not really any great players in Chicago right now. Everyone's injured, and Seth Jones is probably the best player on the team. That being said, even though he's not necessarily getting a lot of points, His peripherals have been pretty good, so his floor is pretty good. Brock Faber and Thomas Harley are both playing top power play on their respective teams, and they're both playing pretty decently. Both have a decent floor, and both have value until the guy who's injured returns. For Faber, it's Spurgeon. For Harley, it's Haskin. That was a pretty good option too for those off nights that LA has. They play Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, remember that. And Watt always gives you some pretty great peripherals and puts up a point every now and then as well. So he definitely should give you a safe floor for that entire week. Samuel Girard is on fire right now, putting up peripherals, putting up points. I'm not expecting that to last forever, but he makes for a decent ad. Just keep in mind that Colorado only plays 2 games next week. Adam Boak is at only 1% roster, has 4 assists in his last 4 games since returning from an injury. Add to that, he's playing PP1. He's a pretty good ad, and he's actually available in 99% of leagues right now. I think he should be added in quite a bit more. Igor Zamula is playing top power play in Philadelphia right now, and he's been decent, getting a point every second game or so, which is decent if you're in a super deep league. I know his peripherals absolutely suck, but if he's putting up those points, you can't complain too much. And finally, Jackson Lacombe, available in almost 100% of leagues, is playing on the top power play in Anaheim right now. They traded Drysdale, and unfortunately, Mintyukov is injured, so Jackson Lacombe has been the power play 1 guy over there. And while he hasn't been all that amazing, if you're in an insanely deep league, he might be worth taking a look at. Let's move on to goalies now. And first on the list, I have Alex Lyon of the Detroit Red Wings, who's been very, very good, starting just about every game for Detroit. And as long as Husso is hurt, he's going to continue to do so. Korpisalo, obviously Ottawa has sucked this year, and it's been rough to see. But with Forsberg injured, we can expect Korpisalo to get basically every start in Ottawa going forward. So if you're in a points-based league, he may not have a very high ceiling, but he should have a decent floor. John Gibson at 38% roster. They play 3 games this week, Anaheim, and they just played Gibson back-to-back for some reason. So I'm expecting Gibson to probably get all 3 games this week, so that could be a decent pickup for you as well. Samuel Urson of the Philadelphia Flyers is playing basically every second game right now for Philly. He's playing so freaking well, which is why he's actually taking away not really the starting job from Hart. Hart's still starting at least every second game, but he's playing well enough to earn the split that he's getting. Next is my Manscaped must-add player of the video, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, or 6K as I like to call him. Roses are red, violets are blue. Trim your balls and your date will thank us too. What's up, fellas? Valentine's Day is knocking, and Manscaped is the remedy for what the love doctor ordered. His prescription? The all-new Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, designed to elevate your grooming game and shine like the heartthrob you are. Join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com and snag 20% off and free shipping with the code word FANTASYTIPPED. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with the code FANTASYTIPPED. Because your grooming upgrade awaits, ready to charm your Valentine's dates. Now, why is Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen my Manscaped must-add player of the video? Well, this dude has taken away the starting job from Devin Levi. He's recorded 2 straight shutouts, and even though he weren't against the best team, he has shown no signs of slowing down at all. He's going to get the majority of the starts going forward for Buffalo. As long as he doesn't play like crap, he should be starter going forward for the rest of the season. Like him a lot right now, and especially if you're in need for a goalie, he's someone you need to be adding right now before somebody else scoops him up on the waiver wire. Next I have Peter Mrazek, who is starting basically every start for Chicago now because Soderblom's been so bad this year and they just can't trust him anymore. So Mrazek's getting the vast majority of the starts in Chicago, and he's been playing pretty well overall. Ranta at 31% rostered is definitely another kind of must-add player right now. He's getting the majority of the starts for Carolina because of the injuries to Kochetkov as well as to Frederik Andersen. He's the guy right now. Should be added in more leagues. Sam Montembeault is getting the majority of the starts in Montreal. They do have 3 goalies, so it's a bit of a mess there. But overall, Montembeault is getting at least one of every couple starts. So if you need a goalie in a deeper league, he's an option. Nico Dawes is also getting every second start for New Jersey. He's definitely not playing too bad. Finally, Mackenzie Blackwood of the San Jose Sharks has been starting almost every game for San Jose lately, and he's actually been playing pretty well. So if you're in a points-based league, Blackwood is definitely a pretty decent option right now. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. If you enjoyed the content today, please drop a like and hit that subscribe button. We're well on our way to 7,000 subscribers, so thanks to each and every one of you who have hit that button. and I look forward to catching you in the next episode of Fantasy Tip.